Ryan, welcome to Bournemouth Pier.
Hi.
Now you come in from Portsmouth, haven't you? You travelled from Portsmouth.
That's correct.
And have you been at the protest most weeks or every week?
Yeah, so normally attend the ones down in Portsmouth.
Yeah.
We was at the big demo up in London last week.
Oh, right.
So yeah, nice turnout up there.
Yeah. Was it what you expected last Saturday in London, or
So I didn't manage to get down to the front and listen to the speakers as much as I could have. But yeah, I mean, just being part of the numbers was amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
The turnout was amazing.
Yeah.
You know, so many people around, so many British patriots there.
Yeah. It was at least 1 million, wasn't it? Well,
Yeah.
at least. But
So the numbers are saying somewhere around 3 million, but if you look at previous demos that have happened in London, you're definitely looking like 1.5 million plus.
yeah,
The numbers kind of speak for themselves when you
Yeah.
see people in the streets.
and it was good to be doing something that wasn't outside a migrant hotel, because people think that we just protest outside migrant hotels, but we're doing other things as well. Like today we've got a procession, haven't we, from here, Bournemouth
Yeah.
Pier, up to the Roundhouse Hotel in the
We're here
in the Lansdowne.
Bournemouth Pier at the moment. Obviously, we're going to start here. We're going to have a speech from the pastor in a minute, and then head down to the Roundhouse Hotel, where obviously a load of migrants are supposedly staying, illegal immigrants there, and obviously get our voices heard outside.
Yeah.
Let them know that we don't want them here.
Many people will be shocked, Ryan, to see that we've got pastors or Christians speaking or being here.
Yeah.
Some of our critics would say that that's just not credible, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are saying this is all about, religion as well. Myself, I'm not Christian. I'm actually an atheist. I was once a Christian. So I think, the fact that the pastor's here, I think is good. I don't, disagree or agree with it. So I think it's a nice turnout for the Christian people as well. It'd be nice to see what he's got to say.
When people accuse you of inciting hatred or being racist or of intimidating vulnerable people outside hotels, I mean, you probably respond differently every time someone says that, but what's a typical response that you give? How do you explain to people what we're doing, or try to explain anyway?
It depends. I mean, throughout the day, I fly a flag off of my work truck, so I get a lot of toots throughout the day for support. I also get a lot of hand gestures from a lot of angry people that don't understand. I get a lot of people calling me a racist driving down the road. I think it just comes from a lot of naive people who probably don't understand what my views are. I think we've all got different views, to be fair. I mean, you can't say that. Let's say the march last weekend, let's say 2 million people there. You can't say that not one of them was a racist. We can't help that, we're not going to stop that. But, I think we're all here for the same reason, really. We don't want illegal migrants in the country. Race or colour doesn't matter as long as you're legal and you're conforming to society and contributing.
Yeah. Do you feel angry with those people, or have you maybe moved beyond that now? Do you ever feel really angry, or?
I've turned the truck around a few times and taken a video of some for my own safety, just in case they said that I was threatening, because I wanted to confront them and ask them why that they're calling me a wanker driving down the road, or some, for instance, just saying you're a racist. And at the start, it did kind of get my blood boiling a little bit. But now I just kind of think I can't turn the truck around and have a conversation with every single person and try and make them understand my view, because some of them, they're just not going to see it. They're just seeing that I'm holding a British flag up and I'm a racist. So if that's their naive thoughts, then let them crack on. But we're going to try and change their minds with some of these demos.
You've actually lived and worked abroad, haven't you, Ryan? You've lived in Africa. You've worked in various places. I mean, do you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah, so I mean, most recently, a few years back, I used to go to France a lot and do removals. So I was moving Gurkhas, I was moving, foreign people from one country to another.
Yeah.
But going back to, like my late teens, 18, 19 years old, I lived out in Africa a lot. I used to come back and do a couple of months' work just to get back out there. And I experienced the whole you know, if you're not a resident, you can't live there. I mean, I wanted to move out there permanently, and it just wasn't feasible unless I was a millionaire. You know, I'd have to build my own house, and you know, I'd have to. I wouldn't be able to it wouldn't be sustainable for me to live out there just because they don't allow residents to become part of the country. You know, but you know, it doesn't stop me from going out there, but I just end up having to come back to the UK every so often.
Now, Ryan, we just moved to get a quieter spot, didn't we? And you got Bournemouth Pier behind you, and you got your flag there. It's great, which you just brought out. And I can't remember what we were saying just now. Oh yeah, you were talking about you've lived and worked abroad.
Yeah, we left the subject of, you know, when I was abroad, the difficulties I had of, you know, trying to migrate into another country. You know, most countries just don't have the accepting law that we have. You know, the visa costs for me to live and work out there alone just weren't sustainable, and it just kind of makes it almost impossible. And it's just not the same when you come here. You know, you can kind of, you know, get yourself on your feet from day one without even getting a job, and you know, I just don't think that's fair.
I think what makes a lot of people angry, I don't know how you feel, Ryan, is that so many people feel that, you know, if you're a citizen here, you paid into the system, you live here. It's 50-50. It's not guaranteed that you'll get what you need, or that you'll be able to get the services or the
definitely not.
help.
I think that's what makes
housing.
People's blood boil sometimes. You know, when they're British citizens like myself. You know, and you do need a little bit of help. You know, like myself in the past, I've needed help, and you go and ask for that help. And you just turned away. You know?
So you might be lucky, you might be fortunate, but then again, you might not be. You know, it's not guaranteed. You know, it's a bit of a lottery. Whereas, generally speaking, people can arrive into the country. We're going to use the word illegally because technically that's what it is. I know there's a debate about what illegal means, but people can just come into the country, and people see that they're virtually guaranteed to get all their needs met and everything they need. No problem. It's all guaranteed. They won't have to worry about anything. Everything will be provided. And but if you live here, it might not be so certain, and that's what makes people's blood boil, isn't it?
I mean, they come into the country, you know, straight away they're escorted in. They're given a hotel. They're fed. They get, you know, a roof over their head. And you know, they get everything they need. You know, whereas there are some of us, like our veterans. You know, we've got a lot of homeless people on our streets here, especially in Bournemouth. You know, I've been to Bournemouth many times, and I know that their, you know, homeless scene is crazy. You know, everywhere you go, there's people sleeping on the streets, and you know, you've got the street pastors that go and help, you know, see to them of a night time, what have you. But why aren't they offering them, you know, this hotel down the road where there's maybe 300 illegal immigrants in it? You know, there's more than 300 homeless people on the streets here in Bournemouth. You know, why aren't they being?
And we understand that a government has to find some sort of balance, and we know that it's complex, but it could definitely be a lot more balanced than this. I mean, this is just way out of control, isn't it? It's chaos now.
It is chaos. Absolutely. And I think, you know, like I said, you know, I've needed help in the past myself, even just recently. You know, and if you go in to ask for any help, there just isn't any help there. I think, you know, the fact that I do work for myself, I think it also makes it difficult. But then it just kind of leaves you to fend for yourself. And when you do find that these guys are, you know, being given, you know, hotels and being fed and everything, and we're out here struggling, you know, that's when it hurts. That's when I think we become a little bit more passionate, and that's when these numbers and everyone here is for, you know, to fight for our own. You know, it should be our own that comes first.
I mean, somebody said in response to a YouTube video I did earlier in the week, a French person said, I don't know whether what their political leanings were, but they said, well, if you're a colonial power, you know, France and Britain were both colonial powers. You know, we colonized so many countries. We had the biggest empire in the world, and France had a big one as well. People say, well, this is what we're getting now is a sort of a legacy of our history and our empire, and you know, but you know, we can see that. I mean, for me, I can see that, Ryan. But at the same time, you can't just have endless amounts of people all coming here. You have to draw the line somewhere, regardless of our history.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think just letting in thousands and thousands every single day is absolutely crazy. I mean, I think the numbers the other day was the amount of illegals that are actually in the country now is more than more than our own, British Army. And so it just says it itself. They are actually building their own army within the country. If they're fleeing a war zone and they've got their problems over there, and they're coming here for safety, which is what they're saying, in a minute, in 5 years' time, there's going to be so much. They're not going to be in their country. They're going to be in this country. And they're going to bring their problems with them. So they're going to bring the problems to this country too. And we don't want that.
It's not resolving any of the underlying issues, is it?
No.
If everybody just keeps coming here or coming to France or Germany, because Germany, France, and Britain are the 3 biggest destinations, aren't they?
Yep.
If everybody just keeps coming here and there are no limits, no quotas, because
I mean, why is it, the countries that they're coming from, Syria, Afghanistan, Palestine, wherever it is they're coming from, how many countries have they come through to get here as well?
Yeah.
Why were they not safe countries? Why was our country the only safe country? It's not the only safe country. It's the only soft country. We're too soft and we let everybody in. But do you know what we're not soft on? Not soft on our own. Our own British people are not being looked after, and we're caring too much about other people. And that is our culture, to care for other people.
I just feel
too much.
I feel, Ryan, that in the last sort of in recent decades, we're just gradually decimating our national identity, our backbone, our nationhood. It's like we're imploding from the inside, and
yeah, definitely.
Many politicians just seem to want to work against
Absolutely.
the interests of this country.
It's
and
a massive self-sabotage from Parliament alone. They're literally sabotaging the whole country. They see the issues themselves and they're ignoring it. Even in Parliament, you've got one side saying what the issue is, and the other side's trying to say that that's not an issue. Are they not seeing it? Is it because it's not happening on their doorsteps? Because we're seeing it and it's happening on our doorsteps. We're on the streets. We're living and breathing this whole experience from day to day. Is it because they're not? Is that why they're not seeing it?
And we want to help. We want these countries. We want these countries to change for the better. We want to get to the underlying issues. We want to resolve the issues, and we're not just
these
have
countries is in
people
the other
just
countries,
leaving and coming here.
Oh,
Everyone's just leaving.
Because I don't care about the other countries. I care about this country. This is the country I live in. And this is the country that's actually imploding for its own government, allowing it to happen from the self-sabotage. And this is the country that I care about. It is sad to say, I don't care about their issues. That's their issues. Why should we be getting involved?
Yeah, I mean, why
we've got all our own problems. I'm a British citizen. I need help as well, and it's just not there for our own citizens.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan, why have we been involved in, why have we been involved with Ukraine? Why were we involved with Afghanistan? Why were we involved with Iraq? These things are nothing to do with us.
They're not.
The Ukrainian situation is nothing to do with us, and we seem to have
at the expense of our culture and our British,
And we have endless, limitless amounts of money, Ryan, for migrants.
So for that reason, the homeless people shouldn't be on the streets. Then, why are we helping and caring so much about the other countries' problems?
We have endless, limitless amounts of money for Ukraine, for migrant hotels, and yet, strangely, we haven't got enough money for public services for people here.
Absolutely.
Something really doesn't add up there. Limitless amounts of money for those things,
see the numbers
but
that
not
are
enough
being
money
sent abroad for aid for other countries like Ukraine, for instance. They're not in the millions; they're in the billions.
Yeah.
They're sending billions abroad to these other countries, and for what? And you see some of the things that they're actually buying with this money, and it's like, that's disgusting.
We need to butt out, don't we? We need to butt out of all these foreign, of all these things that are nothing to do with us.
Citizens. Yeah. And do you know what? Saying British citizens does not necessarily mean a white British person like myself. There are a lot of cultures in this country, a lot of friends of mine, that not only were they born in this country and they're British, their parents were born in this country. For hundreds of years we've had other cultures, born British citizens. So that doesn't necessarily mean that this is a race thing. If you're not white, you need to go. No. If you're coming here illegally and you were born in another country and you have nothing to offer this country, you should not be here. You should not be draining our resources.
And also, and even if we were to take people, there has to be a strict limit, a quota, and it needs to be very, very minimal now, in my view. It needs to be taken down to a very, very small, minimal amount, because at the moment it's
I think that should be zero
limitless.
right now.
At the moment,
the numbers, are in the hundreds of thousands of what's actually come into the country already illegally. So I think until them numbers have gone down, I think that number should be zero. It should be deport the ones that shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
And if there's people that have been here for several years and they're not, conforming to the society and contributing, they don't have a job like a doctor or, even a taxi driver, for instance. It doesn't matter. If you're on the dole and you're not a British citizen, you should be gone as well. You should go back to your own country and be a burden on your own country.
Ryan, I want to congratulate you and really, this sounds cheesy, but it's your being here today, all the way from Portsmouth, is indispensable. And the fact that people turn up every week and they, because we've got a huge fight on our hands, but I believe
massive.
We've got this, and I think last Saturday in London would have really scared and made a lot of people nervous, and ruffled a few feathers, for want of a better cliche, and that's what we want, isn't it?
As well. Hopefully each week, more and more people understand what we're actually here for. It's not about racist, views like most people say. We're here to kind of educate people as to what is actually happening before it's too late.
Yeah.
The country isn't going to be a British country before long, and it needs to stop now. And everyone needs to start acting now. More people need to come through and support each other with this.
Thank you, Ryan.
There's nothing racist about that at all.
Anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up this particular interview?
Oh, so much, but I don't think we're going to be interviewing for the next 3 hours, are we?
So we're going to try and film the procession from here up to the Roundhouse Hotel.
It's nice to look over now and see all the flags flying over here.
Yeah. Yes. And at 1 o'clock we're going to do a procession, a march up to the Roundhouse Hotel. Yeah. Thank you again, Ryan. Really appreciate it.
No problem.